Good morning to those who are in the shrine. Good morning to those who are attending Mass from the safety and comfort of their homes. Because we have included prayers for those who have passed away, I decided to take the Gospel of St. John, which we just heard seconds ago. The first reading and the Gospel have something in common. It is called assurance, katiyakan. While God in the first reading promises Abraham that he would be father of many nations, and as many as the sand on the seashore, Abraham was doubting because he was old, and Sarah was also an old woman. How can this be? And therefore God, in the first reading, we hear him saying, giving Abraham assurance, katiyakan. Katiyakan or assurance is very important. Human as we are, weak human nature demands that we are assured in everything. For example, in the life of married couples, we have to assure each other that the efforts that we do is the source of our assurance. We also demand assurance from those who are looking after our children, because if we go out for work, we cannot just leave them alone. We have to have the assurance of those who are looking after them. For the sick, we also give the assurance that they are well taken care of. And as a nation, we also need the assurance that there is an abundant supply of vaccines, and that no one will be left behind because of the lack of supply. Assurance is important. And what is the effect of assurance in our lives, in our daily lives? Peace, kapanatagan ng kalooban. I can go to work because I have this assurance. And I am willing to start a new normal because of the assurance of a vaccine. But all these assurances have a source. Tayo. We are the source of the assurance for each other. And I don't know for those who are at home, but those who are here in the shrine, we give and we hope to give each other an assurance. I put on my face mask to assure you everything will be all right. And when I see you with your face mask, you are also assuring me everything will be all right. And if I don't see you with any mask at all, I feel fearful. I don't know. And the best assurance that we can get, that we can hear, comes from Jesus. Because He is the source of our assurance. Because He is God. In other words, God in Jesus gives us the assurance that we all need to make our journey through life peaceful and calm. And the Gospel brings out this assurance of Jesus. And the first words of the Gospel is already very comforting and assurance. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Or kumbaga sa Tagalog, huwag kang mag-alala. You have me. So here Jesus starts comforting the apostles who were fearful of what might happen next. Do not let your hearts be troubled. And he steps a little bit further by saying, you who believe in God, believe also in me. Why this difference? You who believe in God, believe also in me. Because God does not say any word. All the words that we hear that give us assurance comes from Jesus, because He is the Word of God. And He continues by saying, do not let your hearts be troubled, because in my Father's house there are many dwelling places. He was talking to the apostles, and He continues to talk to us who believe in Him, who find our journey today, the 25th day of the 6th month of the year. As we continue our journey, He gives us an assurance. Because for those who believe in Jesus, our journey should end somewhere. What's the purpose of going to Mass? What's the purpose of my prayer if I even don't know where I'm going? So Jesus assures the disciples, and whatever might happen tonight, and assures us today, in my Father's house, your journey ends. And that Father, in my Father's house, there are many dwelling places. I'm going there, in fact, to prepare a place for you. And once everything is prepared, I will return to take you with me, so that where I am, you also may be. Where I am, you also may be. What is implied in this assurance? Where I am, you also may be. Love. We know that from our human experience. If you love somebody, you want to be with that somebody. If somebody loves you, you want to be with the one whom you love. So where I am, you also may be. So here Jesus already tells us that we are assured, in spite of the difficulty of this journey, we have the assurance from Jesus Himself. But then we thank Thomas, because he brings out something that we should also ask the Lord. But we don't know where you are going. How can we know the way? And this becomes the message of the good news. Thomas, I'm going to the Father. I am the way, the truth, and the life. So Thomas and Christians of modern times, if you believe in me, you have me as the way to the Father's house. In the context of our celebration that includes the beloved departed and those who have passed away, this is precisely very, very consoling. Why? Because with the assurance of Jesus, we know that they who believed in Jesus ends happily in an assurance and kapanatagan of the Father's house. And this also should encourage us, because we are not left behind. With the assurance of Jesus, with the assurance of God to Abraham, our journey, in spite of all its difficulties, will end well.